The warning ignored. They laughed at Earth. 14 minutes later, their empire was history. The alien empire had ruled for centuries. Their fleets filled the stars. Their banners hung over many worlds. They believed no one could challenge them. To them, Earth was small, a divided planet, full of noise and arguments. Humans fought each other more than anyone else. The empire sent envoys. They demanded loyalty, resources, control. Earth refused. The refusal shocked the empire. No small world said no, especially not to them. Alien leaders gathered in their grand hall. They studied images of Earth, cities, oceans, lights at night. One commander spoke with confidence. Humans are weak. They will fall quickly. The order was given. A punishment fleet was launched. The galaxy watched as alien warships moved, system after system, toward human space. News spread fast. Earth is about to be crushed. On many worlds, people felt pity. Others felt relief. At least it was not them. On Earth, something strange happened. There was no panic, no public speeches, no cries for help. Human governments went silent. Military channels closed. Civilian networks slowed. The world felt quiet. Deep beneath mountains and oceans, hidden facilities woke. Systems that had slept for decades powered on. Codes long forgotten were entered. Humans did not argue. They did not vote. They remembered. The alien fleet reached the edge of the solar system. Their ships blocked the stars. Weapons charged. Victory was expected. Alien commanders broadcast message. Submit now, or be erased. Earth did not reply. The silence confused them. Another message was sent. Still no answer. Alien leaders laughed. They believed humans were afraid. The first alien weapons fired. Targets were satellites, early warning systems. They vanished in flashes of light. Earth still did not respond. Inside, the alien fleet confidence grew. They prepared for the final strike. Inside, Earth time began to matter. Human commanders stood in dark rooms, watching data streams, tracking every enemy ship. A single clock counted down, not to defense, but to response. Human fleets hidden across the system moved. Ships inside the moon, beneath oceans, deep space platforms. They did not rush. They aligned. The alien fleet crossed the final boundary, their weapons locked on Earth. At that moment, a human voice spoke. Calm, steady, begin. The alien fleet felt it before they saw it. Their sensors flickered. Communications failed. Targets vanished. Confusion spread. Human weapons struck without warning. Not random. Not loud. Precise. Alien escort ships lost power. Drifted. Collided. Command ships tried to regroup. Orders overlapped. Signals jammed. The galaxy held its breath. This was not the war anyone expected. Earth was not defending. Earth was executing. The timer continued to count. Alien commanders realized too late. This was planned, not rushed, not emotional. Humans had waited for this moment. As the first alien capital ship went dark, fear replaced confidence. The Empire understood something terrible. Earth had not been preparing to survive. It had been preparing to end wars. And the countdown had only just begun. The first minutes. The alien fleet was drowning in confusion. Screens went dark. Signals overlapped. Orders never reached their targets. Ships drifted out of formation. Some collided. Others spun without control. Alien commanders shouted commands. But their voices meant nothing now. They believed Earth was silent. They believed Earth was slow. They were wrong. Human attacks came in waves. Soft, precise, unavoidable. Power systems failed across the alien fleet. Weapons shut down. Shields collapsed. Entire squadrons went blind. From the outside, it looked calm. No massive explosions. No burning stars. Just disappearance. Alien captains tried to regroup. They ordered emergency jumps. But jump drives refused to respond. Space itself felt locked. Inside the alien command ship, panic grew. Officers ran between stations, hands shaking. voices breaking. They demanded reports. None made sense. The human attack pattern was invisible. No clear direction. No obvious focus. Then the second minute passed. Human fleets revealed themselves, not from one direction, but from everywhere. Ships appeared behind alien lines, above them, below them, as if space had folded. Human vessels were dark, smooth, unmarked. They moved with perfect coordination. No wasted motion, no hesitation. Alien weapons fired wildly. Shots missed. Targets shifted. Human ships never rushed. They adjusted. They predicted. The third minute began. Alien supply ships vanished. Fuel reserves exploded silently. Support vessels lost power. The alien fleet was being hollowed out, piece by piece. Commanders tried to retreat, but retreat required order. Order was gone. Inside human command rooms, there was no noise, only quiet voices, measured updates. Each target confirmed, each action approved. This was not rage. This was routine. The fourth minute arrived. Alien capital ships finally fired main weapons. Beams tore through space. But human shields bent light itself. The beams faded. Human ships advanced untouched. Alien crews stared in horror. Their strongest weapons had done nothing. Human counterfire followed. Short bursts. Focus strikes. Alien capital ships lost engines. Lost control. Lost purpose. They drifted like dead giants. The galaxy began to notice. Observers on distant worlds watched feeds, unable to understand what they were seeing. An empire that had ruled forever was unraveling, and it was happening quietly. The fifth minute. Alien Command attempted one final broadcast, a message of dominance, of threat. It never reached anyone. Human electronic warfare erased it mid-signal. The alien flagship tried to flee. Its engines flared, then died. Human ships surrounded it, not firing, just waiting. Inside the flagship, the Emperor watched the timer. He finally understood. This was not a battle. This was a countdown. The sixth minute. Human fleets moved deeper, not only in the solar system, but beyond. Alien border worlds went dark. Command centers lost contact. Defense grids shut down. The Empire was being cut apart at every level. The seventh minute. Panic spread across the alien empire. World declared independence. Fleets abandoned orders. Fear traveled faster than light. The eighth minute. Human ships appeared above alien core systems. No warning. No announcement. They did not attack cities. They disabled infrastructure. They removed control. The Empire could no longer function. The ninth minute. Alien commanders stopped giving orders. They began to surrender. Human ships accepted nothing yet. The 10th minute. The galaxy realized something shocking. Earth had not waited to see what would happen. Earth had already decided. This war would not be long. Because humans did not believe in long wars. They believed in endings. And there were still minutes left when terror replaced certainty. The alien empire had never known fear like this. For generations they had ruled by force. Their fleets had crushed resistance. Their name alone ended wars. Now their name meant nothing. The human attack did not slow. It became clearer, more focused. Alien fleets across many systems reported the same thing. Loss of control, loss of sight, loss of command. Messages arrived late, or not at all. Empire admirals tried to understand the pattern, but there was no pattern they could fight. Humans were not reacting. They were executing a plan written long before the first shot. The 11th minute began. Human ships moved deeper into Imperial space. They bypassed defenses, ignored strongholds, and struck where control lived. Communication hubs went silent. Navigation beacons failed. Supply networks collapsed. Entire regions of space became blind. Alien worlds woke to empty skies. Their fleets gone. Their rulers silent. Panic spread faster than any ship could travel. On the Imperial capital world, the ruling council gathered. They demanded answers. They demanded solutions. None came. Their strongest fleets were already disabled. Their reserve forces never launched. Human strikes had removed the ability to command. One council member whispered the truth. Earth had studied us. They had watched our wars, our habits, our arrogance. They knew where to cut. The 12th minute. Human fleets appeared near the imperial capital, not above the planet, not threatening, just visible. A reminder. Alien citizens saw them from the surface, dark shapes blocking the stars. For the first time in history, the Empire felt watched, not hunted, judged. The Imperial Council sent a surrender message. They offered territory, resources, obedience. The message reached human command. It was acknowledged, but no reply came. Human ships did not move. The 13th minute. Imperial fleets that still existed powered down. Crews abandoned posts. Officers removed insignia. The Empire dissolved from the inside. Worlds declared independence. Regional governors fled. Laws lost meaning. The Empire was not being conquered. It was collapsing. Human ships maintained position, ensuring nothing could escape. Nothing could regroup. They were not angry. They were thorough. The galaxy watched in disbelief. No grand speeches. No dramatic battles. Just an ending. The final minute approached. On the imperial capital, the council waited. They expected destruction. They expected punishment. What they received was silence. Then a single human transmission arrived. Simple, clear. The conflict is concluded. That was all. Human fleets began to withdraw. Not hurried, not slow. They left systems stable. Infrastructure intact, populations untouched. The Empire was gone, but its worlds remained. The galaxy struggled to understand. This was not mercy. This was control. Humans had removed the Empire without becoming one. News spread quickly, faster than fear. The Empire fell in 14 minutes, not because it was weak, but because it was predictable. Humans had shown the galaxy something new. Power did not need to shout. It did not need to conquer. It only needed to decide. As human ships vanished into deep space, a new rule formed in every mind. Never mistake silence for weakness. Never assume humans are slow. And never believe that Earth will fight the way you expect. Because when Earth strikes back, the war is already over. The galaxy after 14 minutes. The war was over, but no one felt safe. The silence that followed was heavy. Too heavy. Alien worlds across the galaxy waited. They checked sensors. They watched the stars, expecting something else to happen. Nothing did. The human fleets were gone, vanished as quietly as they arrived. The empire that had ruled for centuries no longer existed. Its borders meaningless. Its authority erased. But its worlds were still there. Leaders on former imperial planets gathered in confusion. They had expected destruction, occupation, rule. Instead, they had been left alone. Supply routes slowly came back online. Power grid stabilized. Civilian life continued, yet fear remained, because everyone knew this peace was not earned. It was allowed. The galaxy began to talk. Stories spread from system to system, about the 14 minutes, about ships going dark, about commands that never arrived. Every version ended the same way. Earth decided. Alien historians tried to record the war, but they struggled. There were no great battles to describe, no heroic last stands, only systems shutting down, fleets losing purpose, empires dissolving. It did not fit old stories. On many worlds, military leaders met in secret. They reviewed their defenses, their weapons, their doctrines. None of it mattered. Human tactics did not rely on numbers or brute force. They relied on understanding. Humans had studied the empire for years, its structure, its pride, its habits. They had waited, not for weakness, but for certainty. Certainty that the empire would strike first. Now that certainty was gone. On Earth, there were no parades, no celebrations. People went to work. Children went to school. Cities continued their lives. To most humans, nothing had changed. But in deep command centers, plans were updated, records archived, timers reset. The 14-minute response was filed away as complete. Alien diplomats debated what to do next. Some argued for alliance with Earth. Others argued for distance. No one argued for conflict. A single question echoed in every council. What happens if humans decide again? Months passed, then years. The galaxy slowly adapted. New treaties formed. Smaller powers gained independence. Trade flourished. Yet every agreement had an unspoken rule. Do not provoke Earth. Do not threaten Earth. And never assume Earth is unprepared. Alien children grew up hearing the story, told as a warning, not a legend. They learned that humans did not seek war, but they did not fear it. That humans did not dominate, but they did not tolerate dominance. On one distant world, a former Imperial admiral lived in exile. He replayed the war again and again, searching for the moment they lost. He finally understood. They lost long before the first shot. They lost the moment they believed Earth was weak. The galaxy began to recognize a new kind of power. Not loud, not visible, silent, patient, human. As years went by, no new empire rose. No great fleets gathered. Fear kept them small. Respect kept them careful. The 14-minute war had done what centuries of conflict never could. It changed behavior. Yet some still wondered, what if something worse comes? Something even humans cannot stop. That question lingered in the dark and far beyond known space. In regions uncharted and ignored, something ancient shifted. Human sensors noticed. As always, no alarms were raised, no announcements made, only quiet adjustments, only new plans. Because humans did not wait for danger to arrive. They watched, they prepared. The galaxy slept under a fragile calm, unaware that peace existed only because someone was awake. And somewhere deep in human space, a familiar timer was tested again. Reset. Ready? The shadow behind peace. Peace felt strange. The galaxy had known war for so long that silence felt unnatural, like the pause before a storm. Trade routes reopened. Ships moved again. Worlds rebuilt. Yet fear lived beneath everything. Alien leaders smiled in public, but in private they watched Earth. They watched for movement, for signals, for signs. Human space remained quiet. No fleets, no warnings, no messages. This quiet was worse than threats, because everyone remembered what silence meant. The former imperial worlds struggled the most. Their people were free, but lost. Their rulers gone, their systems empty. They asked a question no one could answer. Who protects us now? Some looked to Earth. Others feared it. New alliances formed. Defensive pacts. Shared fleets. All of them weak. All of them fragile. They were not built to win wars, only to delay them. Alien scientists studied human technology, captured fragments. Old data. They could not understand it. Human systems were layered, adaptive, alive. Every copy failed. Every attempt collapsed. Humans did not build weapons. They built responses. This truth spread quietly. Years passed. Then the first incident happened. On the edge of known space, a remote mining world went silent. No distress call. No explosion. It simply vanished from the network. Scouts were sent. None returned. Fear returned like a memory. The galaxy hesitated. No one wanted to speak first. No one wanted to ask Earth, because asking meant something. But the silence grew. Another world went dark. Then another. Panic returned to councils. Voices rose. Arguments filled halls. Some demanded action. Others demanded prayer. Finally, an old alien leader spoke. We must tell the humans. The word humans still carried weight. A small delegation was chosen. Not warriors. Not rulers. Observers. They traveled to Earth, expecting resistance. They found none. Human officials listened quietly. As always, the delegation explained the disappearances, the empty systems, the fear. The human response was calm. We know. That was all. The delegation felt cold. Humans had known and had said nothing. The alien leader asked why. The human replied, because it was not ready yet. Those words spread fear. Ready for what? Back in the galaxy, the disappearances increased. Entire systems went dark. Stars dimmed. Signals died. Panic spread faster than ever. This threat did not declare war, did not demand surrender. It consumed. The galaxy waited. Humans remained silent. Until one day something changed. Human ships began to move, not as an armada, not as a show. Small groups, precise, quiet. They moved toward the dark regions. No broadcast followed. No explanations. Alien sensors could barely track them. Weeks passed. Then the darkness stopped spreading. Lost systems slowly came back online. Ships reappeared. People survived. They spoke of nothing. They remembered nothing. Only fear. The alien delegation returned to Earth, demanding answers. The human response was simple. It is handled. The galaxy struggled to accept that. What had happened? What had been stopped? Humans did not say. They never did. The lesson became clear. The 14-minute war was not an exception. It was a warning. Humans were always watching, always preparing, not for revenge, not for conquest, for balance. The galaxy lived in peace, not because it was strong, but because something stronger chose to protect it. And everyone knew the greatest danger was not angering humans. It was making them decide. The decision that ended fear. The galaxy never returned to what it was. Peace existed, but it was not soft. It was careful. Every world remembered the 14 minutes, even those not alive to see it. They felt it in laws, in silence, in restraint. No empire rose quickly. No fleet gathered without reason. Power had learned humility. Human space remained quiet, unchanged on the surface. Ships came and went. Trade flowed. Life continued. But deep within human command, nothing was ever idle. Observers watched the stars. Listeners tracked patterns. Thinkers planned for what did not yet exist. Humans did not wait for danger. They waited for certainty. The galaxy learned to read human silence. When humans spoke little, it meant preparation. When humans said nothing, it meant decision. Years after the disappearances ended, the alien alliance called one final council. Not for war, not for fear, for understanding. Leaders gathered from many worlds. They spoke openly, honestly. They asked the question that had lived in every mind. Why do humans choose when to end wars? No human representative attended. None was needed. The answer was already known. Humans ended wars because they understood cost. They understood loss, not as numbers, but as memory. Human history was filled with endings, wars that scarred worlds, conflicts that nearly destroyed them. They had learned something others had not. Wars do not end when one side wins. They end when someone decides enough. That was human power, far beyond known space. The ancient darkness that once consumed systems had not vanished. It had been contained, found, observed. Human watchers stayed near it. Always, they did not destroy it, because destruction creates echoes. They watched. They learned. If it moved again, the response was ready. This knowledge was never shared, because fear was not useful. Balance was. Alien civilizations grew, not faster, but wiser. They solved conflicts before they grew. They negotiated before fleets moved. The story of the 14 minutes became law, not written, but lived. Never underestimate patience. Never confuse calm with weakness. Children across the galaxy learned the same lesson. Humans do not rush. Humans do not warn twice. When humans act, they have already decided. On Earth, the timer still existed. Deep in systems few knew. It was not dramatic, not symbolic. It was practical, a reminder that response time mattered. That hesitation cost lives. Humans did not celebrate the timer. They respected it. One day far in the future, long after the Empire faded into history, a young alien asked a human historian, "Were you afraid when the Empire attacked?" The human paused, then answered simply, "No, we were ready." That answer spread quietly, and the galaxy understood at last. Fear had never protected them. Hope had never saved them. Only readiness. The stars remained calm, not because danger was gone, but because someone was watching, someone patient, someone capable, someone human. And so the galaxy endured, under a peace not enforced by threat, but maintained by certainty, that if chaos ever rose too high, if war ever threatened everything, humanity would not ask, would not argue, it would decide. And when that decision came, it would arrive, quiet, precise, and final.